All right, so going along with some of our form intricacies for some of our big lifts, the next video that I want to go over was going to be the deadlift, how to do it properly, especially because this one has a lot of different things to keep in mind, just like the bench and just like with the squat. But with this one, take it from me, I had a lot higher of a risk of injury on this one as opposed to the other two, especially because there's a lot of different things that you need to keep in mind. And a lot of different ways that you can fail or hurt yourself on this exercise. So I want to start this off as a disclaimer. Depending upon who you ask, they're going to tell you that the deadlift is not good for you. The deadlift should be something that you should avoid. There's different variations of a deadlift that you should do as opposed to this one. And so from my personal opinion, my personal experience, just from my schooling, my education, all of that kind of stuff, you're going to do the deadlift whether you are 25, 55, 85. You're going to be doing a variation of a deadlift because you're going to find a box that's sitting on the ground and it's a little bit heavier. Are you going to bend down just like this and pick it up? No, you're going to want to use your legs so that you save a little bit of your lower back. You don't want to hurt your lower back. So when you find a box, you're going to squat down and you're going to pick it up. Guess what? That's a deadlift. And so the other deadlift variations that people may want you to do are going to be like stiff leg deadlifts and things like that. A lot of that is going to be for aesthetic or to help build the overall main deadlift exercise. But the deadlift itself is definitely a movement pattern. Even if it's something that you don't throw a bunch of weight on, it is definitely a movement pattern that you need to familiarize yourself with and get comfortable with, because you will be doing it for the rest of your life. So let's get right into it and let's make sure that we iron out all the details on this deadlift. So with the deadlift, it's going to be a full body lift. And so what I mean by that is you are essentially using everything from your calves and your legs all the way up into your back, your traps, biceps, all of that kind of stuff. Basically anything that you can't see in a mirror, everything back behind you, you're going to be utilizing, and even a little bit in front of you as well. So this is a full body type movement, something that you could probably do on a back day or you could do it on a leg day, depending upon how you want to structure your workouts. So with this one, the way that I break it down, and it's a little bit simpler once I kind of show you how and why I do it that way, is basically a squat followed by a hinge. So with this, what I like to do is feet at shoulders or a little bit in, depending upon what your comfortability is. So I'll set that up. Set the bar over my shoelaces because you want that bar as close to you as you possibly can. You don't want to be reaching way out here and then deadlifting with it. So you want it as close as you possibly can. From here, what you're going to do is reach down and grab the bar. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you could do that. It's really dependent upon what you find to be the most comfortable with your grip strength, with all of that. So there's 3 different ways that you can grip it. Normally, what I like to do is put my stronger arm palm facing away when I grab it, and then the other one is facing the opposite way, so an alternating grip. So you can either do an alternating grip, you can alternate the other side depending upon if you're stronger on your left side or not, or you can do a both overhand grip. So for me, I'm going to show you this variation. So you're set up, your feet are underneath the bar, shoelaces are underneath, you've picked out which grip you want to do. Now you're going to essentially squat down and grab the bar. And so from here, you're going to just grab it. Your shins are going to be touching the bar. From here, you're going to be sitting down, keeping your chest up. And so from here, all you want to do is stand up with the bar. One thing that I want you to keep in mind is see how my elbow is flared out right here? Right before I come in and pull the weight up, you can see that I turn it in. And so what that does when I turn it in is it helps to engage my back. And it helps to engage that so that when the weight gets heavier, I'm not solely utilizing my legs or my lower back in order to pull the weight up. I'm also engaging my upper back to help with the initial pull of pulling it off of the ground. So let's go back down into it. So from here, we're going to go just like this and then turn in, sit down, chest up, your head is up, and then you're going to stand up with it. Just like that. And so you'll see why, if I slow it down for you real quick, why it's a squat and hinge essentially. So from here, in order to set it back down, you're going to hinge forward a little bit and then squat right straight down. And so see it the other way. You're here, squat, and hinge. So you'll do the reverse of a squat until about here, and then hinge forward, push your hips, glutes, everything like that through. So you're gonna go down, stand it up, push everything through, squeeze everything back behind you, and then set it right back down. Good. So with that one, it is a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind with that. Number one is engaging that back. So if you are new, you're going to think about just going up to the bar and ripping it off the ground. And so we want to be sure that we're engaging the right muscles. So think about tucking that elbow into your pocket. So think about right now it's out. You want to tuck that elbow in, tuck that into your pocket. Keep everything tight. You want to be able to feel everything back behind you, flexed and ready to go when you stand up. Number two, and I cannot stress this enough, especially if you are new to the deadlift, to the gym, anything like that, please, please, please use your legs. So that whole squat variation, when you're pushing through, please do that. 9 times out of 10, if you're coming into a deadlift new, you're going to think it's more of a back exercise. And so I've seen a lot of people when they come into the gym and they do a deadlift, they come down and they just stand up with it. And you can see my knees are slightly bent, but I'm not fully squatted down. So they're going to come up, they're going to get right into it, grab it, and then just go. And they're going to think it's a lower back and upper back type movement. It is, but we also want to make sure that the legs are involved. The issue with that is once we add some more weight onto it, because we're getting stronger, your legs aren't being utilized, you run a higher risk of injuring your lower back whenever you do an exercise like this. So we want to be sure that we're utilizing our legs from the very beginning. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. It's going to make the form a lot better for you. You're going to skyrocket in weight a lot quicker than you normally would if you're incorporating all the appropriate muscles. So if this is your first time deadlifting or coming into an exercise like this, the main things that I want you to think about, yes, the foot placement and all of that kind of stuff, I really want you to think about, but I really want you to think about squatting down into it and keeping that chest up. So instead of falling forward here, we want to keep that chest up and stand right up with it. Keeps our back and our spine neutral, so we don't turn into what would be considered rounding our back. So instead of here and then trying to pull it up, we're going neutral back and standing right up with it. We want to avoid the rounding of the back because then that's also some lower back pain and issues that you're going to come across. So that's why I cannot stress enough your squatting more into it. So utilizing your legs, keeping your chest up and keeping your head up. If any of those start to fall or falter, you're going to use a lot more of your lower back. You're going to run right into an injury risk, and we want to try to avoid that whenever we're coming into the gym. So that is essentially the deadlift. If you have any questions on that, leave those down below. We can go over anything that you could possibly want to know with the deadlift. If you have any questions or need to refer back to this video, I highly suggest that you take this video into the gym. If you have never done a deadlift before, watch it over and over and over again. Record yourself doing it. See what you may be needing to work on. See what you're doing right. All of that kind of stuff. The deadlift is one of those more intricate ones that I highly recommend that you do, but I highly recommend that you do right. So this is, I believe, essential for everyone to be able to do, whether it be with the training plates that you see here or with a little bit of weight. I highly recommend that you at least learn this movement pattern because it's going to benefit you in the long run with any of your daily activities. It's going to benefit you with everything in life. So highly recommend you go over this. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And the only other one we have to go over now is the squat.